makes it seem pretty minuscule. When you have that humility, I think that's when you're closest to Allah.
As the time goes on, the day gets longer and longer, especially like me, my family are non-Muslims and so forth. So when you see everyone eating and everything else, to yourself you say like, alhamdulillah, I can't wait to break fast.
Rashid and Aisha get up. Aisha's not normally covered like this when she's at home with the family.
And it's quite funny when people ask, for example, does your wife at home wear the niqab? And I say, well, no, she doesn't, because there's no men around for her to, you know.
And what about Rashid's new hairstyle?
When I wear my Islamic hat, sometimes it looks quite odd when I've got lots of hair, and it sometimes looks like a mushroom, right? In my opinion, anyway. So it fits on my head properly when I've shaven off all my hair. And also Saudi is going to be very hot, so maybe that'll be a good thing as well. But as long as I keep the hat on when I'm going up, because it might look a bit, you know, funny.
Abdul Qadir from the Luton Call to Islam Centre has just returned from Saudi, planning the Hajj pilgrimage and performing Umrah, which also involves a haircut.
In Arabic it's called Umrah. It's the smaller Hajj, if you like. It has a number of acts of worship which consist of performing circumambulation of the Kaaba, going around the Kaaba 7 times, drinking of the Zamzam water, praying behind the station of Ibrahim, peace be upon him. It also consists of sa'i, when you walk between 2 mountains, Safa and Marwa, and for the male, shaving of their hair or cutting of their hair. Those are the main rituals of that, of the Umrah. And the reward for an Umrah is great, it's immense. But if you actually manage to perform that Umrah in the month of Ramadan, you get the same reward as you would if you performed Hajj. I didn't shave my hair this time, I cut my hair. And the reason why I cut my hair is because I have to go back again to sign and finalise contracts. So I wanted some hair left to take off when I get there.
After breakfast, Rashid, Latifa and Aisha get ready to pray. Muslims observe a set daily timetable of prayer. So what happens when they're travelling?
In Islam, when you travel, our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that if any one of you is on a travel, it's permissible for you to join your prayers and shorten your prayers.
Sometimes we can just look up and tell, you know, what time it is, and we don't have to rely on the timetable, because from the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they would look at the sky and determine, you know, for themselves. But sometimes we're unable to do so, so we have a timetable to help us.
When I got back to England, it was 6 o'clock, so I then combined my 2 evening prayers. So there is that ease, as Allah said in the Quran, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ, which means that verily Allah wants for you ease, and He does not want for you hardship.
So we do our best, we get it as close to the time as possible, then beyond that is, you know, out of our capability.
إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى.
For Muslims, Ramadan is one of the most fulfilling times of the year.
I was looking forward to it for 11 months, and I'm glad to be alive to meet it again. I hope for a lot of reward from Allah for any of the good deeds I'm able, He gives me the ability to do. And I hope I attain the forgiveness that all of us desire, that we're striving hard for.
Coming up, who will go to paradise and who will burn in hell? The Brixton Mosque follows the Salafi tradition. It's an obligation, say members, to spread the message of Islam. Often, Abdul Haq, Hussein and other brothers set up what they call a dawah table in Brixton's main street. They hand out leaflets and talk to passers-by.
What we usually do in Brixton, and the brothers have been doing it for some time now, for years even, was actually one of the things which attracted me to Islam, and was something that increased my own awareness of Islam before I was a Muslim, was the fact that Muslims were actually engaging with non-Muslims. So this is a kind of continuation of that tradition. It's dawah. Now dawah means an invitation, a call. It's actually mentioned in the Quran. Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah. Call to the way of your Lord with hikmah, with wisdom. We don't call people to politics, we don't call people to perverted concepts of jihad and so on and so forth. No, rather we call to what the prophets actually emphasise in their initial messages.
First we talk to the person, we find out where they're coming from, if they're secularist, if they're Christian, if they're Sikh, if they're Hindu or whatever. And based on that, then we start dialoguing with them and basically bringing proofs from the Quran and from the Sunnah of the Prophet about why we disagree with them.
In our da'wah, we're not just trying to sort of quickly beat people over the head and sort of use sort of brainwashing kind of techniques or methods at all. No, what we do rather, we take the message to the people about the concept of God and worshipping Allah alone. This is what we emphasize first and initially. If people obviously show interest, obviously we try to nurture that and develop that. But we don't try to, we're not in it about just to get as many numbers as we can. No, not at all. Obviously, because of the issues that have happened, it's kind of put us on a back foot in terms of our da'wah. Because whereas we used to emphasize calling people to Tawheed and to worship of God and Islam, now we kind of have to clarify again for people issues to do with terrorism and these kind of things.
But do they ever meet with hostility?
Yeah, definitely we meet with hostility, of course. But it's all part of the da'wah, in fact.